So, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite our Vice President of Research and Development. Please welcome Mr. Joel Rockwood.
Suspension gel technology it's what has made us innovative. It's what has sort of given us our name in the market. We've made any number of different products here. The Viz, for instance, it's a great product that is good to help your vision, to improve and maintain your vision. Now the Heart is a great cardiovascular support. Now we use that, we focus on one of the ingredients there, which is an oyster mushroom, which has natural heart healthy benefits in that mushroom. Which is something interesting for me. Lately, I've been learning how to grow mushrooms, oyster mushrooms in particular, this type. They're very hard to grow, but there's so many health benefits there. I wanted to learn more about how that whole process works, and so I've been learning how to do that. Now, I have not gone through the process of learning how to make seaweed. I've not done that. Umi is a product that is great for the immune system, but it's based on a seaweed extract. Now, Flex, this other product here in our line, it's good for joint health. It's good for promoting a healthy physical state in our body, helping us be able to move freely and actively and not feel that pain and discomfort. Now, Exo, one of the reasons we named Exo is because it's filled with exotic fruits. So EXO, in English anyway, EXO, first three letters of exotic, right? Umi is a Japanese word that means ocean or sea or something like that. So they all have this little tie, I guess. But Exo, there's so many different fruits in there, and we get those benefits, and they all work together. The nutrients that are found in a blueberry are not the same nutrients that are found in an elderberry. And they're not the same ones that are found in a wolfberry. There's a little bit of crossover. But by and large, each of those have their own unique nutrients. And that's why it's so important to have all these put together. Now, green is, very appropriately named, it is a greens product. Green is a very appropriately named product. It has a bunch of green ingredients in it. And by green, I mean chlorophyll-containing ingredients. Now, whether it be alfalfa or we have wheatgrass, barley grass. Now, these are just the grasses. They're not the full grains, so we don't have to worry about gluten content or anything like that. But it does give us the health benefits and the chlorophyll content. Now, Min, again, English, vitamin, mineral, it all works, right? It all comes down, as long as you understand English, then some of them work. So this is a multivitamin, multi-mineral product that's going to give you your daily requirement of vitamins and minerals. Now, one thing that these all have in common, and I like to talk about it like it's a separate product, but it's not, is suspension gel technology. So we have 7 products here, but I would present this as 8 products because I would talk about each of them individually, and then I would explain suspension gel technology separately. But each of these 7 products incorporate that suspension gel technology. So it's not just Viz, it's Viz in suspension gel. It's not just Flex, it's Flex in suspension gel. And that gel has benefits for the nutrients. But let's pretend I took all of the fruits out of Exo. Or let's pretend I took all of the benefits out of Umi, all of the different ingredients, and just left the suspension gel. Let's pretend that. The suspension gel itself has benefits. If I take all the seaweed out of Umi, if I take all the exotic fruits out of Exo, the base gel has its own benefit. Well, here we have our new product that we've just seen that wonderful video on. We see people wearing the shirts. We see all that out there. Pro Plus. It is a super nutritious health shake. Now, if we go back to the previous product line, you'll notice that there's something here with each of these products. This is a product that is good for helping your eyes. It's good if you need to protect your eyes. It's good if you have a specific issue with your eyes. Umi, great to build the immune system. Min, great for vitamins and minerals. But none of these are a specific meal replacement. None of them are going to they all improve your nutrition, but none of them are going to replace a meal that you would take during the day. You still should have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Now, I can give you all of the fukoid that you need in a day to protect yourself from the environment, or the exo from the environment, the umi from the biological component. How many hands? I guess Thailand has really got to figure it out. You guys don't shake a lot of hands, do you? You do a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's much healthier. Because I've got news for you. All of us are covered in bacteria, bad bacteria. So when you shake a hand or you kiss someone on the cheek or you give them a hug, you're just passing bacteria back and forth. It's disgusting. Okay, but none of these replace a meal or anything. So here we have a meal replacement that is going to be utilized. A lot of people, when they have hard times, when it comes down to it, sometimes they'll forget to take the vitamins and minerals because they're more worried about more important things. Well, everyone needs whey protein. This is a great addition to the product line. Well, one thing that people have asked me a lot is, well, who should be taking this product? Who is this made specifically for? Well, my answer to you is probably as different as each of the people that would ask that question. It's for so many different people. It's for everybody, but each person can use it a little bit differently. So whey protein Pro Plus is something that if you're my age, you can use whether you want to gain weight because you're underweight, which is not my problem. Well, yes, absolutely. We'll get right to them. The people that want to lose weight, which I could stand to lose a few pounds at the moment, this is a great way to do it because it can be used as a meal replacement. If you want to lose weight, you can use it instead of your lunch or instead of your dinner, and that can help you. So you can use that to help lose weight or gain weight depending on how you want to do it. So as we look at this here, we'll see the number of calories that we have. We have 170 calories here. So if you are taking in about 2,000 calories a day into your diet, that means each of your meals is between 600 and 700 calories. Now that's pretending you have 3 equally sized meals, which most people don't do. There's an old visual that you eat how you want to look. If you have a small breakfast, a medium lunch, and a large dinner, then you'll look like that.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And if you have a big breakfast, a medium lunch, and a small dinner, then you'll look like that.
If you want to look like a pillar like this, or no?
Even them out, I guess. So if you want to lose weight, you can use this instead of lunch or dinner. You're getting a great deal of whey protein isolate here, 28 grams of whey protein isolate. And it's 170 calories, so it's a lot of nutrition with a very low calorie amount. So if you eat a good-sized breakfast and you have this for lunch, you're replacing maybe 500 calories with 170. That means you're taking off about 400 calories out of your diet, which puts you at a reduced caloric diet, which allows you to lose weight. And that's not just for lunch. You can do the same thing for dinner. It just depends on how you structure it. Now, if you want to maintain your healthy weight, you can use this. You don't have to replace a meal. You don't have to have it in addition. You can use it as part of a meal. So that way you're getting a good amount of protein, but you're still maintaining the calories that you need. And so that way it's helping you be healthy, you're getting the right amount of good protein, but you're not necessarily gaining weight or losing weight. That's another way to use it. Now, if you want to gain weight, positive, good weight, you can use this in addition to your meals. Maybe you need to, if you've heard about these different athletes, they're exercising so much, they're taking like 10,000 calories a day, and they're eating everything that's in front of them. If they can see it or order it, it's on the menu, and they eat it. This helps in addition to your diet, giving you a good solid amount of the right protein for muscle building, or if you need to gain weight. Now let's pretend that you're not all bodybuilders. You're all very in shape, very strong. But let's pretend we're just a normal person. Well, why do I need whey protein if I'm not looking to tear my shirt arm or something with my big muscles? Whey protein is a good, solid protein source. It's good nutritionally, whether you're trying to put on muscle mass or not. It's beneficial to take. So if you're trying to build muscle, whey protein is one of the, if not the best protein to use. But if you're just trying to put on healthy weight, maintain your healthy weight, whey protein is also that. So it's not going to make you big and strong and bulky if you're not going to go work out. And who here likes dark chocolate? We've used an incredibly dark chocolate. It's actually called black cocoa. So most cocoa you would see is going to be brown or even a little bit red. The material we've used is very, very dark, very nutritious, very full of antioxidants. I personally have a hard time with chocolate. There's certain chocolates that I really like though. If it's like chocolate cake, I'm like, eh. But there are certain kinds of chocolates that I really enjoy. This is a very good, rich, healthy chocolate. And have you ever taken a supplement or even a protein shake and felt like you were drinking candy or something? It's just too sweet. This has a healthy, very healthy feel for it. It's delicious. At the same time, you can tell it's good for you. Now, the amount of whey protein that we have in here, we have 28 grams of whey protein isolate. Now, this whey protein isolate is so pure. It's such good material. It's something that you would find in, and we were talking about this yesterday, something that you could find in a medical food at a hospital. Now we'll talk a little bit about each of these. So we've got the isolate, we've got a probiotic that we have added to this product to help our bodies properly digest and absorb that nutrition and help our bodies thrive. We have included inulin as a fiber. It's a perfect fiber source, not only for your body for health purposes, but it's also a perfect fiber source for the bacteria to be in its optimal condition in the body. We have beta-glucan, which has been added here. Beta-glucan it's actually also a good food for the bacteria, but it helps to boost our immune system separately. We've included B vitamins in there. These B vitamins we've included are ones that are specific to helping break down protein. So our body can digest it properly so that we can get as much nutrition out of it as we can. It is, as we said, due to this inulin and this beta-glucan, it is high in fiber. We have several grams of fiber in there, which is a heart healthy thing. It's good for your diet. It's good for weight management. It's good for your body in general. And of course, it's gluten-free. And we have no added sugar in there. We do have 1 gram of sugar, but that is going to be coming from, when we extract the protein, there's always just a little bit of that left in there. We haven't added really any sugar into the product. Okay, now if we look at the B vitamins that are added there, we have 100% of that's a vitamin B2, that's vitamin B6, that's vitamin B5, 100%, 110%, 200% of the standard daily intake. We also have provided calcium in there. We have 10% of the daily intake of calcium, about 143, 145 milligrams. Now this is an amount of calcium your body can actually absorb. If you try to give your body too much calcium all at once, it can't absorb it. It just flushes through. You have to give it little bits at a time. Now, if you look up here at the amount of, we'll go back. The amount of fiber in there, 6 grams of fiber. That is a lot of dietary fiber in your diet. It's, as I was saying, it's very good for your body. It's good for your heart health. It's good for your intestinal health. It's just overall good for your body. Okay. Oh, and I can't overlook this. This bacillus coagulant. This is one of my very favorite probiotics. There are a lot of probiotic options out there. It's a very popular thing to have right now, a very popular supplement, and so people look at these different Latin names, these different bacterial strains, and they might recognize them. Well, Bacillus coagulans is one of a very short list of bacteria that are actually functional in your body. Studies have shown, I think they compared, I want to say 35 different bacterial strains, and they tested them in people to see how much survived into the intestines, because that's really where it works. If you take it, it's not really doing anything in your throat, it's not doing anything in your stomach, it has to be in the intestines for it to work. And we'll explain a little more about that and how that works and why we've chosen what we've chosen. We'll get into that a little bit more in a few minutes. But let's start with the whey protein isolate. So many good ingredients in this, but I would say this, being a protein multi-shake, this is probably the most important ingredient in the product. Now, whey protein, this particular whey protein, there's a lot of different types of whey protein. There's whey protein concentrate. There's just, milk itself. When you get the cow's milk right from there, you're looking at maybe 5% or less whey protein. Now, if you take all of the fat and all of the water away and you're left with just the milk protein, about 20% of the milk protein is whey protein. Now, the nutrition that the milk provides is dependent on how the cows are fed, how, just the whole process. It's going to give a higher or a lower production in the milk. So this being a premium whey protein isolate, we use the best materials, which are then filtered. We're using microfilters. It's actually a pretty fascinating process for me, but I'm a nerd. It's not like you can just dip a scoop in there and get the whey protein out of the milk. There's a special process that it has to go through to get it done properly. Now, this filtration process, it uses two different microfiltrations and membranes. It's a very technical process, but we can explain it fairly simply. So here, there's a certain amount of fat that is going to be in the product, the milk, the raw product. So this first filter, it has bigger pores, so it lets all of the lactose, the minerals, the protein, they all can fit in there, but the fats, the lipids, they're too big, and so they bounce off and they don't make it in. So this next part is the small filter and the membrane. The lactose and the minerals are able to fit their way through, but the protein can't. The protein's too big to go through. It's small enough to fit through this one, but it's too big to go through that one. So you can see that, just because these are small enough to go through, some of them could still get in here. So there's always going to be a little bit of sugar and a little bit of mineral, but we try and filter it down as tightly as we can so that we can concentrate for the protein itself. So the higher quality of filtration that we have and the membranes, the higher quality of the protein we can end up with. So when we have whey protein isolate that is over 90%, we have really taken it from like 5% or less and concentrated it all the way into 90%. And so it has taken all of the other impurities. So if we go on to the next, we're going to get back to the bacteria part now, the probiotic part. So there was a study that I'm recalling. It was 30 to 35 different strains of bacteria, and they tested which ones survived the stomach acids and actually made it into the intestine. Many of the bacteria that are out there, whether it's in yogurt or just any other product, a lot of them, they use bacteria that have become adapted to oxygen, or they need to be refrigerated, and so that they can survive. And if you test them in their container, they might have good numbers, but if you test them from what actually made it to your intestines, that's a whole different thing. So when people promote their product as being probiotic, it's only tested based on what is in the product. They don't test how effective it is in the body. So here we have a Bacillus coagulans. This is not to scale. This is much bigger than it actually is. What we have here is we have an outer shell, And that is one of the keys to this particular kind of bacteria. It's called a spore. So the way this happens is there are two bacteria, and when they're starting to die out again, one of them will sacrifice itself and they will wrap around the other one and create this outer shell that protects the inner bacteria so that it can continue to live on. Now this outer shell won't come off until it senses the right environment, the right moisture, the right temperatures. You know, I remember growing up, I could always tell when dinner was almost ready because I could smell it and start salivating, getting hungry because dinner was almost there. That's how these bacteria are. When they sense the right moisture and the right temperature, they know it's time to wake up. So when they wake up, they'll work in our intestines and they will help the positive bacteria that's in our intestines. They'll support them and help them thrive and multiply so that we can have, it helps our immune system, it helps with our digestion, it helps with our energy levels throughout the day. It continues to surprise me how dependent our bodies are on bacteria. See, we like to think that we sort of rule our own world, that that we're in charge here. Well, there's an argument to be made there. These bacteria might actually be in charge of us sometimes. Did you know that if you have too much negative bacteria in your body, it can release hormones that make you crave sugary foods? I read about a study about different bacteria, and the person who wrote this study was very clever because one of the things they put in the title was that my bacteria made me eat a cupcake. See, that's the scientist with a mind of a marketer right there. Because those negative bacteria, they thrive on simple sugars. But if we have too much negative bacteria in our body, and I call them negative because we need them in balance, but they're the ones that will take over and help us be unhealthy. We need a high level of positive bacteria, and Bacillus coagulans helps us do that. It helps support the production, the growth of those positive bacteria. There's a certain school of thought with gut flora, with gut bacteria, that it can change. Like let's say I had a twin. Let's split me in half and make me twins. So I'm now two people. We're genetically the same pretty much. But my twin over here has too much negative bacteria. Or even though our fingerprints might be the same, even though our retinal scans might be similar, his gut bacteria are different than mine. Now let's pretend that we eat the same things at the same time. We work out together. We do the same activities. We get the same amount of water, hydration, the same amount of sleep. All of these factors can affect our health and our weight. So let's pretend that me and my twin here, he's very good looking, that we are the same in all of those regards. If his gut flora are different, the food that we eat, even though we're eating the same amount of food and the same kinds of food, he might be extracting more nutrition than I am. And so eating the same foods, the same amounts, with the same activity, he could gain more weight where I might lose weight. So I would ask again the question, who's in charge here? Are we in charge or are they in charge? It's hard to say, isn't it? But we have the ability to control and change the balance of good and bad bacteria. So I just think that is so fascinating that the bacteria, these little things we can't see, can't smell them, can't hear them, they can't talk to us, but they have so much to do with our functioning. Okay, beta-glucan is the next ingredient we want to talk about. Now, beta-glucan can come from a lot of different sources. See, we have some sources here. We have some this appears to be seaweed. We have mushrooms. Mushrooms are full of polysaccharides. Beta-glucan is a polysaccharide. See, we have different grains down here. We have some oat, and that is probably some cracked oat, and those are smashed oats. That's probably millet, a different type of grain. Now, each of these different sources will have a different type of beta-glucan, because beta-glucan it's a family. It's not a specific compound. It's a group of compounds. Well, you can go through each of these processes and figure out which one is the perfect beta-glucan for supporting your immune system, or you can pretty much rely again on bacteria to help us out, because we can also ferment ingredients that the byproduct is beta-glucan, specific types of beta-glucan. So the beta-glucan, they are, again, short-chain fibers that help our body. They support our immune system, and they also help with the bacteria. They help to feed the bacteria. Are you familiar with the terms prebiotic versus probiotic? The difference between, and most of you probably know this, but the difference between a prebiotic and a probiotic is the probiotic is the bacteria itself. The prebiotic is the food that helps support the probiotic. Okay, and so it's important to have both of them in there. So the fiber that we have in there is a good prebiotic. The beta-glucan is also a good prebiotic. But the difference is that the fiber doesn't necessarily support our immune system, what the beta-glucan does. Now, fructooligosaccharides, it's a big, scary word. The acronym is FOS, F-O-S. Now, this is a type of inulin. It's a type of fiber. And if we go back several slides, it says there's inulin fiber in the product. This is what that is. Now, this scary-looking monster here is the chicory root. Now, we were going through these slides beforehand, and she looks at this and says, what is that? I don't want to eat that. What is that? Well, it's also called a Jerusalem artichoke. It has very different names. It's not something that you will necessarily find next to your carrots or the celery, but it is it's a really good source of these edible fibers, these soluble fibers. One interesting thing about this FOS is it's a material that is sometimes used as a light sweetener, but it is purely fiber. It just doesn't seem like it should be a sweetener because it's a positive, healthy thing for you. And sweeteners usually are viewed as being a negative thing, right? So we have a great deal of this. And now this is the fiber that I'm talking about that is good as the prebiotic in addition to the beta-glucan. Now, of course, this gets mashed up and pulped and extracted and all of that. We're not like grating roots into the product or anything like that. Extra chewy. One thing that we have focused on is in our whole business model is the suspension gel technology. And you'll notice that this product is powdered. It is a powdered drink mix. There's a couple of reasons why we did that. One of those reasons is the probiotic. If it's in water, it will activate. It will wake up. And then it'll create a negative situation in the product. We don't want the bacteria to wake up until it's in our intestines. We want it to be sleeping comfortably right up until then. So we don't want the bacteria to be angry at us. We want it to wake up in our intestines warm and just like, and just wake up very nicely. Well, with a dry product, we have a technology that is able to fit right into our product line here. It's able to absorb. The suspension gel technology aids us in a lot of ways, and this is one of the ways. If you look at the suspension gel technology, the benefits of it, first of all, it's more convenient, frankly. And you don't have to reach in your pocket and find the pill, and then like pick the lint out, and then eat that. And you know what? You do that, nobody is going. You can't share that with somebody. Here, try this. I'm like, no, that's for you. I don't want that. So it's much more convenient. Better distribution. One of the beauties of suspension gel technology is the first packet that is filled is the same as the last packet that is filled. They're going to be evenly distributed. The gel suspends all of our nutrients. Better absorption. That's one that we like to focus on. Better absorption, it really helps with that. And with this new technology, and even with GelPlus specifically, all the previous versions of suspension gel have had preservatives in them. This is preservative free. This is a great process. But the one we want to really focus on today is better absorption. So, better absorption. There we go. I like this guy. He's my buddy. Because I can, we don't have to hurt anybody, and I can still show you all the parts inside. So we're going to talk about absorption. Why suspension gel helps better absorption. How it helps better absorption. And while the slides themselves may look technical, we're not going to talk super technical. We're going to explain them in ways that are very simple to understand, hopefully, and simple to explain. There's hundreds of thousands of doctors all over the world that would love to tell you all of the super important details about absorption and all of that. We want to keep it very high level so that we can understand it, we can help share it with people and help them understand it. Okay, so absorption begins in the small intestine. It goes down your esophagus into your stomach, and it gets pushed into there, into your small intestine. Now, there's different parts of the small intestine. There's 3 different sections, and different nutrients will absorb at the different sections. Think of it like an exit on the freeway, the highway. If you miss your exit, it's a lot harder to get where you're going. You can still possibly get there, but you're going to have to go the long route. Now, there are certain nutrients, like fats, for instance. Fats will absorb the whole length. That's like saying, take me to Bangkok. Okay, you're on the freeway. Any one of these exits will do. Any one of them will work. I'm aiming the wrong direction. The screen is not going to help me. I got to aim over here. This is a section of the small intestine. Okay, if we kind of zoomed in on it, we peeled some stuff away, and this is the center of that. That's where the food would go through. So now, we've taken that section and we've kind of peeled it away. We didn't have to hurt anybody. It's all good. Now, inside your intestine, there are a bunch of wrinkles in there, so it gives more surface area. And each of these wrinkles, you'll see they have little bumps on them. It looks like a little hand right there. Like you could give it a high five. And so here is the enlarged version. We take a small little section of that and we enlarge it, and we get these things here that look like little fingers. They're called villi. Now, if you look inside the villi, there are cellular, so there's blood vessels. There's arteries that have oxygenated blood, and there are veins that have the deoxygenated blood. So this is transferring nutrition, but it also transfers nutrition into the blood. But we're not done zooming in yet. We're going to zoom in one more time. Okay, now this is one of the individual fingers. No, actually we're going to zoom in 2 more times. So one more from here. So back here we have a lot of these fingers. Here we only have one of these villi. And if we zoom in on that villi, we see there's little hairs on there. These are called microvilli. Now, the microvilli is the actual point of absorption into the intestine. So here we have a little more friendly version of the microvilli. These are individual cells that all have a really short haircut. Now, there's 2 different ways that the nutrients can absorb through this intestinal lining. One of the ways is to go directly through the cell. It can be absorbed into the cell and pushed through back to the other side. And there's another way that is in between the cells. So you can go through the building and out the back door, or you can go in between the buildings. But these microvilli are the point that it kind of catches them and pulls them in. Now, the suspension gel technology, the ingredients that help it absorb, that help all these nutrients absorb, the guar, the xanthan gum, the base of that gel, they facilitate, they act like a taxi, okay? You get in the car and we're going to take you right through, and then we'll shuttle them into or in between the cell to get those nutrients through there. That they're just going to hold them by the hand and take them right through. So once it has made its way through or in between the cells, now we see that it goes back into the blood. Because it's not going to just sit here and hang out there. It's going to get all clogged up. It needs to go into the blood to be able then to be distributed throughout our bodies, to go to the different cells, to the muscles, to whatever it is that needs it. So there's a quick little tutorial or reminder on how absorption works in our body and how suspension gel helps absorption. Now, with our powder, our Pro Shake, we have a new technology, the gel crystal gel technology, so that we can get the same result using a dry material. So when you add this to water or milk or whatever you want to add it to, let it hydrate for a moment, and once it's hydrated, it will work in your body as suspension gel technology does. Now, the fun part about this is it doesn't need to be, the suspension gel ingredients don't need to be, it doesn't have to be this big, scary container. It is still mostly whey protein. Well, to clarify, this product is still mostly whey protein, not the suspension gel. So we have 28 grams of whey protein isolate. The product itself is 44 grams overall. So as we add this to the water, we get our suspension gel, and it fits right in, complements the line that we have. So we have suspension gel technology and we have crystal gel technology. One thing that I want to do is to thank Rungrat, the whole team, because as we developed this product, and we developed it together, talking what we want, what would be the best for each of you, each of the team members, their concern was with nutrition. Their concern was making sure this was the best product out there. We looked at other products, other types of protein that other people use, other competitive things, and made those decisions based on what's going to be best for the person, not necessarily best for the company's pocketbook. You know, ultimately, it was made in a very, I feel, a very good way. This is a very high quality product with very high quality extra ingredients that didn't really need to be there. If we wanted to just sell a whey protein product, whey protein isolate, we could. We could have used a lesser grade of isolate. We could have used less isolate, but they really wanted the best for the consumer. So that's something that I am very grateful for. As a product developer, I have my own, I'm kind of a product snob, if that word translates. I'm a nutrition snob. If it's not going to be important that it's in there, if it's not going to be healthy for you, I don't see why we should bother adding it. But if it's going to do the job, if it's going to do it right, I'm all in favor of it. So many people that I've worked with, so many groups that I've worked with in previous lives are much more worried about, you know, let's just get the product out there. Let's get something that will make people happy and we can sell it, as opposed to getting the right product. And that I want to thank the staff for thinking that way. And I honestly think that we should give them a round of applause for that thinking.
กดติดตามและกดกระดิ่งเลยค่ะ Please subscribe to see new video